What's going on, guys? We are back with another Valorant video, and today we are going to be doing an Omen guide for Ascent. So let's load in. Alright, we are going to start this first half of the video on defense. So we're going to focus on A first and then go to B, because you really shouldn't be watching mid as Omen. So for basics, you really just want to have the smoke pretty much like that. Even though that's a little bad, honestly. But that's not too bad, because they have to walk out to here to even see anything, so... You want it to be pretty flush with the wall if you're playing with a Vandal. That way you can get the peeker's advantage, pretty much. And then obviously you'll have someone watching tree, but you really want to be watching main as Omen. Just because this kit is so powerful, you have the blind to stop a push, you have the smoke. So yeah. He's very good to hold main versus like an off area. Most of the time though on defense, I choose the judge over the Vandal, mostly because if they're rushing to me, they're gonna enter my smoke, so it's way easier to fight them with the judge instead of a Vandal if it's gonna be up close most of the time, so that is why I choose the judge. And even for retake, it's still pretty good, so we'll go over that in a second, but the main way to use the judge is you want to time it pretty much. You want to time the smoke perfectly with their footsteps. So the round will start, they'll be running up, and then as soon as they get right here, they have vision of this and it looks clear, but you'll be on that corner over there. So it looks clear, and then as soon as they get to like right here and you hear them pretty much, you want to drop the smoke like almost immediately as soon as they get here. So you got to time it pretty good. And then it looks clear, and then they will enter, but you will already be in the smoke. So what you want to do is, you hear them walking up, boom, they get close enough, drop the smoke, and you make sure the smoke is dropped. Because as you'll see, like, the smoke is not fully dropped yet. You want to make sure it's fully dropped, and then sneak in. That's why it's good to stick it out a little bit. So you want it flush on this side, and then sticking out on your side, so you can get in a lot easier. Sometimes they'll even put it a little more like this. That way I can sneak in easier. I can just hide right here, and then I'm already in. But then it's a little obvious because they know you're not going to be here if you've already done that play before, so it's just generally good to just center it. But yeah, you can also do multiple other things with this. So say they're pushing in, and then you drop the smoke, and you're sitting in it, and they're just shooting at you. So pretty much you just want to pray to God right there, or dodge, come to the side, wait till they're reloading, and then as soon as you hear them reloading, sneak in, and you can teleport back here. Sometimes this works. High risk, high reward, so take it with a grain of salt, but it works the majority of the time if you can time it good with their shooting and everything. Another thing you can also do is you can say the smoke is here, they're shooting. As they're shooting, if you reach all the way up here, you can teleport up top here. And this will honestly catch a lot of people off guard. You just gotta be careful with over there. So I recommend as soon as you TP, here I'll show you guys real quick. As soon as you TP, this is what I do. You wanna step forward a little bit and get out of the vision, just in case. If they're shooting at you or anything, maybe you can save your life. But yeah, you wanna just focus here and then hold the pressure here, smoke here, and then you can pinch them with your team. Use the blind here. Blind the whole thing, and yeah, very good for Omen here on this map, at least on defense. Attack is a lot more risky, but yeah, but let's say you have to hold tree, or there's someone coming from a tree and you got no one there. Honestly, in those cases, I will mostly just rat up right here into this corner and pray no one's coming from there, and if there is someone coming from there, I will honestly smoke this. Still, I'll smoke main, obviously, and I will hide in here and try to fight this. And either I'll die for this if no one's gonna help me in tree, and then I'll blame my team, or I will go from here and smoke this and fight tree and hold this off if there's no one tree, and if there's another person main for holding main. So yeah. Or you could also, if you have time, that's if you really don't have time, if they're already in tree. If you hear them cat and there's no one, you have time to rotate. A really good smoke is this, because you can go in perfectly, and then hold this, and then you want to peek on this side because they can't really see you still. say from here, you can't really see that far, especially if they're right here, which a lot of people will be because they're trying to clear this corner. So you can really catch them off guard with that. It honestly just depends on how far you stick it out, because say you stick it out like this, and then it's even more, and then you could fight this, but this is a little too close, because when you're walking through this, they'll probably see you if they're inside the smoke. So that's why you gotta find like the perfect point. Like this might be fine, but yeah, and then you can just fight this, and then there'll be someone here. There's just a whole bunch of scenarios that can happen, but that's the whole point of Valorant. But yeah, you mainly want to be focusing on main as Omen. Another good spot, like say if you're getting pinched or something, or like you're, I don't know, maybe you started late or something, a good spot to just get to is right here. If you need to, if you have a judge. It's gonna be a good spot because you can smoke from right here, and then you have control of this whole area, but you gotta be careful of the sprays from over here. So, but this is a good spot to always smoke just in case if you're alone or anything. Because you always know you have those games where you're just alone holding a site for some reason. Now, when it comes to retaking A, you really want to try to do this technique. I don't know, this is mostly what I do, if I have a judge at least. You want to try to just shift walk up, and then you can drop the smoke somewhat like this. And then you can sneak into it if they're not peeking over there, and then drop at the same time. But yeah, you gotta make sure they're not peeking right here. But I'll try to demonstrate that one more time. So you want to kind of want to smoke there, and then you fall with the smoke. And yeah, you'll make noise, but 50% of the time there's going to be either someone in the smoke already, so you'll drop down and just shoot them. Alright, I'll show you like the full thing. So normally I'd just walk up, then I'd shift walk here, hope no one's over there, smoke, gun out, and then someone's there, shoot them, and then shoot the planner, try to clear hell, see if hell's clear, and then I'll mostly just try to hold this box, and then if I get another smoke back in time, I'll smoke that, or main, depending on how many teammates are alive. It's really all just situational, but, and I don't want to forget about my Vandal lovers, so Vandal / Phantom. For the Vandal and Phantom, I'd honestly recommend holding here. Just smoking here, and just... This is like probably the best spot because you can TP here. Be safe somewhat. You can even TP up here. I've done this a couple times. You can just TP up here. And then you can peek out. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, you know. But either way, most of the time when you're getting pushed by a lot of people and you're stuck here on the site like this, you're going to die. But you can also back up and just teleport like that. Just make sure you jump, because jumping can also add a few distance meters. So you can just TP to safety if you really need to. But yeah, this is a very good spot. And yeah, you can even smoke like up here if you want. So like if they're closing the door or something, or they're pushing to plant, and then main might be smoked already too. So you can like do that smoke if they're pushing in really fast, do those two. Fight that. I don't know, it just really all depends, but those are the main smokes you want to do on defense. But you can also, if you have a teammate that's playing aggressive, but I really never do this. I never think it's worth the risk to just play this aggressive, because you can really just die at any point, and then you're down a whole player on the site instantly, and they're just gonna take it. You always want to use your full kit before you die. But alright, let's go over to B now. So the same principles apply for B, just a little different. You'll obviously hear them walking up, and you pretty much want to do the same thing, but it's a little easier here because there's no like huge gap. It's just this little block thing. So you pretty much want to have them walking up, and right when they get to about here is when you'll drop the smoke. So on this map, a good spot to stand is just right here, and then you can set up the smoke like this, or even like this, and then once they get close enough, you... Oh, I pressed the wrong button. You drop the smoke, and then you walk in, you're in the smoke still, and then they'll be walking in as soon as you drop the smoke, pretty much. and you'll just spam the judge. They'll think it's clear because they'll have vision of this first, of it being clear, and then you'll drop the smoke when they're like right here, and they'll just walk in. So you really gotta time it perfectly. And another thing is too, if like say you do it, you get a kill, you back up, you reload, and they're shooting a bunch of shit at the smoke, that's when you can use the sound of the gunshots to mask your TP noise. So you could re-smoke it or something, or if it's still smoked, really quickly TP over there while they're still shooting. And I like 90% of the time they will definitely not hear your TP land, and they'll think you TP'd like up here or something, just because of the shots. Like the shots are so loud, like just for perspective, look at this, like there's no way you're gonna hear the TP. Like I can't even hear myself talk right now. So it's definitely better to just try to use that sound to mask your TP if you are gonna do an aggressive TP like that, because really if you're not gonna mask the sound, it's most of the time it won't work. But yeah, if you're also gonna use the Vandal, I'd also recommend sitting tree, or not tree, whatever this is, boathouse, whatever. I don't even know what people call this, switch. Oh yeah, that's what they call it, switch. He's on switch. But yeah, this is a pretty good spot in my opinion. I mean, it's all right. Another good spot is back here, because you have a chance to fight this, and then once they're coming into this area, you can sneak over, drop a smoke, jump in maybe, and then try to camp this. Or you can also just go backside. You go from straight from there to backside, and then you have advantage. And obviously the smoke will be deeper. It'll be like this. Even that's sticking out a little too much. A proper smoke would probably look like this. This is like an ideal smoke. Like I would be so happy to see this smoke right here online. But it's really easy to just play hell. And then you can hold this. They drop, but you mainly want to be focusing on this. But yeah, B's a lot simpler, honestly. I mean, yeah, you can do some crazy TP plays, like TPing like this. This works sometimes. Like, I don't know, this only works like probably like, I'd say like 30% of the time. It's just because there's so many times that there's people just backed up watching like this or something, so. High risk, high reward, you know? I don't really do the whole sneaking into this corner anymore, but if I do, I mainly just want to shift walk into it, and then I really just don't want to fight and without my smoke, so I will drop a smoke as soon as they're walking up. Same principle applies as soon as they get close. Drop the smoke, sneak in before them, they think it's clear. Blast them. TP out. You're good. Re-smoke the main in case they push, and then you can probably just rotate, because they definitely will not push you B main, because you'll have infinite smokes with Omen pretty much the whole round if you just smoke one site. You can literally keep main completely smoked like the whole entire round if you only smoke one spot. That's why Omen is probably one of my favorite agents. But yeah, for retake on this site, I think it's always best to just go through this area. Like, not gonna lie. Mostly because you can just break the thing, the wall or whatever this is. And then I normally like to smoke right here, and then as soon as you smoke it, you TP in it. Or you just smoke it and then you walk out with your team. But honestly, TPing in it works out a lot of the times. And then you can just wait for your team and clear main, or you can try to fight lane, because there definitely is going to be someone there. But yeah, like I said, it's always just going to be situational with this map. And another good smoke is like right here, in case they're there. But I really don't like the smoke. It mainly helps out the other team a lot more. I mainly just smoke back here and back here, because those are like the #1 spots your team will die. So you want to just try to make those as flush as you can, and just try to stick the bomb, because it's going to be sticking out no matter what on some of these parts. But yeah, don't be afraid to push their flank. Like, say they're not B, and you're at B, you don't have to drop the smoke, but say they're not B and you're sitting here, smoke A, and then just try to check the flank, jiggle a little bit, and then push the flank. Because either way, flanking with Omen is fire, because you can just keep smoking and then everything's fine. But yeah, Judge is my go-to weapon on defense, 100%. But yeah, if you're retaking from this side also, do not smoke like that. I mean, if you have a judge, you can smoke like this. And then you can try to get in over here with a TP. And like TP into this corner. And then maybe fight that. And then fight this. I don't know, it just depends, but you really don't want to go through here. Retake kind of sucks on this side. So you want to mostly have your sentinel over here. But yeah, another good thing that I like to do on this map is I'll smoke right there. TP right here. And then you can go in. And then you fight right there, because you don't really have to worry about this angle. And then you can move over, try to fight here, try to fight there. I don't know, Omen's just really good with his TPs because you can clear distances without having to worry about getting shot at and get to the spot that you actually want to go to. Alright, so for attack on this map, oh, I already messed up the timer, so we're just not gonna do it. So for attack on this map, the main thing that I do for B is I mainly just want to blind this, just to make sure that nothing is going to be made for my team to die, because I mainly rely on my team for attack because I'm not too good at attack, I'm not gonna lie. So I mainly try to just blind this for my team, so guarantee no deaths. Then I try to smoke both of the areas quick, TP in, and try to clear market. That is basically what I try to do every time I go B. That is like my main objective, just to safely get my team into sight. Doesn't really matter if I die, as long as I get like 1 or 2. But yeah, another thing you can also do is you can also save your blind if you have like a Sova or something that can clear close. And then you can just run in and do the same smokes. But another thing you can do, like say you have a Vandal, you can just smoke those 2 areas like that. And then sometimes you can even just TP in right here. It's a little risky. There's someone over there. But you can TP in there. You can also TP in over here. This is probably one of the more safer TPs right after you smoke. So you can drop your smokes. And then they'll probably smoke here. So then it'll be a little clear. And then you can just jump. You don't want to hit the switch to reveal your position. And then you want to peek this, clear it, and then hit the switch, and then try to fight market. So it really is just mostly dependent on your team and if your team will entry with you or before you. So maybe give them a little time to entry first before you do all that. But that is pretty much all for B, I'm not gonna lie. You mainly just want to get market control because that is the most important thing. So yeah, I'll show you guys one more time. Just smoke like that. And then you want to TP in on this far side, avoid all that. And there should be someone just always right here, because there's always someone market, so. But yeah, that is pretty much B in a wrap, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, another thing you could also do is, say you're pushing a lane, another good TP spot is just right there. Just jump and TP, and then you're in this corner. You're safe from the stairs, and you can just try to pressure the market, or not the market, boathouse. But yeah, I think that's honestly it for attack on B. It's pretty simple. Attack it, I think on this map is a lot more team play, and you gotta work together, get picks, maybe even some rounds. But yeah, let's go over to A. So for A, the barrier is pretty much like right here. So you always want to just start with your, I think it's up here more. So start with your blind out, and like I did at B, you just blind this, clear it, clears everything before a Sova drone, anything else would. Smoke this. Obviously you'd still be behind the wall. And then sometimes you could even TP here, fight the market because they'll peek out, or the tree. And then yeah, be careful of this. I mean, this smoke is debatable. A lot of people like it more tucked, but I think having it out a little more prevents hell from getting shot, so you can't really hide hell. And even if they do walk out more, it's not really gonna change much. It's kind of just like extending this wall. I mean, they could jump out right here, but like, I don't know, I don't see anything happening if someone jumps out from right there as my whole team is entering site. Honestly, I wouldn't even save your blind. If you're going A, I mean, you could save your blind if you have a Sova drone, or a Sky. It could be good to save your blind. Because another thing you can do is just wait for the drone and everything. And then smoke like this. And then like this. And then you can blind this whole area. TP in over here. And entry into the smoke. But obviously you'd want the smoke a little more like that. So then you'd go in blind and then you're in here. And there's no way the guy market is going to be looking here. Or tree. You guys know what I'm talking about. He's going to look in this corner. And if you really think he is, then just smoke it how I did in the first one. Like this. And then you'll be safe pretty much majority of the time. Unless you got a camper up here, but honestly, no one really plays up there. Especially if you have a Sova dart, which most teams will have a Sova dart. He will also be clearing the site of this area, so... Yeah, another thing you can also do, it's a little risky, because pretty much you're gonna be worried about that, or behind here is, but yeah, you can TP like that. The smoke, obviously their enemy smoke will be something like this. Oops, wrong button. And then you can just TP in, and yeah, fight the site with your team. So don't be scared to use your TPs to entry on attack, because I think it's definitely worth it just to get the upper hand, because it's better than a jet dash 100%. But yeah, you can also, one last thing is you could obviously smoke, and then you could even TP like right here and try to fight, and then fight this guy right here. Works out a majority of the time as well. But yeah, like I said, it's always situational. Just depends on your team comp, depends on the enemy, depends on how many times you've done stupid stuff like that in the game, and if they're gonna be expecting it. But yeah, always just try to use the gunshots to mask the TP noise. Another thing you can also do though is when you push this area, and say you get a kill right here, you can easily just push tree, push over there, or you could even TP right here. You gotta do it perfectly up against this pot, and then you can fight this. And if there's someone here rotating, you can sneak over. But yeah, there's just so many spots you can get to with Omen really quickly if you just move as soon as the round starts. But you gotta just tell your team to back you up. You guys gotta remember this is a team game. But yeah, I'll go over just some simple lurking stuff that I do. So most of the time when I lurk, I like to just blind A still. So like say I'm on A trying to make noise A for my team, I will blind A, because they know I'm already gonna blind A every time if my team is pushing. So if I blind it and my team is not pushing, they won't really know. Unless they check it obviously, or they have like some type of recon. So I'll just blind it, and then I'll just either run away or I'll just sneak up a little bit, see if I can get a pick with the Vandal. But most of the time I'll just run away, come back mid, smoke top over here, and then while my team is pushing B, I'll push up here and slowly try to fight the top mid or mid bottom, and then make my way to tree just in case my team needs to rotate. But if my team makes it on site, I can most definitely get to B. But like I said, you only want to be lurking like that if you have 2 smokes. It's really not that good if you have 1 smoke player. That is unless you use both of your smokes for your other team. So like you could also just blind quickly. You want to smoke CT first because it's the farther one. Smoke CT for them. Smoke that for them, and they'll be walking up and entering. But obviously you don't have to smoke that fast because they'll be walking up B and probably waiting for an arrow, all that shit. So, but that is what you'd want to do. And they entry, and then you can just lurk, sneak up mid, and just wait and see what happens, and then adapt to your positioning based on theirs. But yeah, you don't want to be taking too long though to rotate, because you don't want your whole team dead before you even get there. So don't be scared to just full sprint it back through main, like to just go around and full sprint it. It's definitely worth it to get there before your team dies, because attack is definitely rough on this map, at least in my opinion. Defense is definitely easier. But yeah, I would do the same thing on B, just at the start of the round, just blind for a fake. They really have no way to know that we're there unless they have info. And if they do have info, they have to use it, and they will probably more than likely call for a rotate as soon as you throw that blind anyway, so that'll probably instantly get one person or two people off the other side and make it that much easier for your team to get onto the other side that you're not baiting. Or you can obviously just peek mid and fight, but I don't know. I don't really like mid on this map, so I try to stick with the sights because that is the goal, right? Mid is just a death trap, bro. There's always ops or something. One more thing I did want to cover that I forgot to cover on defense is you can also smoke this. This is a very good smoke if they're pushing mid. You can clear a lot of the areas, try to sneak in, and then you could even TP over here. Or if you know they're only like one person, he's like stuck in this corner just waiting for you guys, you can even try to TP above him. A lot of people won't suspect that. Or you can even TP out, so from the smoke. You can TP out here, depending on which side he's at, and you can fight it. So yeah, just always be ready to use your TPs because they are definitely the best ability in the game and can give you the advantage in a lot of fights. By advantage, I mean by taking aim out of a lot of the fights because you'll just be shooting at someone's back. And also one more thing from defense that I missed is, say you're playing mid, which rare occasion you are, but say you want to play mid and you want to try to push something. You can smoke this right off the start of the round, TP back here, try to fight this. And then you can try to sneak over, try to fight this. But always try to use the corners and try to stay invisible to as many angles as you can. Only peek what's necessary, you know? Just try to peek like one by one. So like, if the smoke is like this, you want to come out this way on the far corner to avoid all that angle. Then slowly peek. And maybe even wait for the smoke to drop to see if there's anything over there. Or if you got timing. There's just a lot of factors to consider when you're playing Omen, or any smoke character really. And especially if you're playing aggressive. I don't know. I think controllers are definitely one of the harder characters, but they're definitely the most rewarding characters to play. Because in the name controller, you can literally control a majority of the game with your smokes. Because once you get a few kills with your judge in the smoker, it really tilts them. So yeah, kills with the judge tilts the enemies. That is one thing to know. So once you start doing stuff like that, your smokes will have power. Like literally, like you could not even be on the site and you could smoke the site and they will think you're there just because of the smoke, and they'll think that you're gonna rat in it, but in reality you're not there. So always try to think psychologically and what the enemy team is thinking, because they're gonna know what you're trying to do, so you gotta try to adapt to what they're thinking you're gonna do, you know? Never let them know your next move. So always change up what you're doing, work with your team, you know, and everything should go smoothly because that's all this game is about. But yeah, I am gonna cover one more thing in this video, and that is the Omen ultimate. So pretty much the Omen ultimate on this map is pretty basic. There's only like one good spot to ult, or I guess two, and that is right here. So a lot of the times as soon as the round starts, I will just pull out my ult right here, pray no one's there, heaven, no one's here, and I'll stick it, and then this allows me to fight heaven. I can smoke this, push this, and my team can fight with me. So it's a lot easier to fight the team from the back than it is from the front, or to do it from both sides at least, because then they won't really know who to focus on, because they'll be focusing on you because you're behind them, but then your team will be rushing in, and then it's just like yeah, that's pretty much like the main spot I ult. You could even ult sometimes here. Oops, I don't know why I canceled. You can ult garden and just hope no one's here. But yeah, this is gonna also force people to look for you too. So using your Omen ult to take people off site is huge, because if they don't come look for you, you can easily just flank them. So always tell your team when you're ulting so they can use that pressure to push into the site or do whatever they want to do, you know? But yeah, other than that, you really just want to use Omen ult for like rotating, or you could even fake it. So say you get a couple kills on A with the judge, you drop the smoke, they're rushing in, you go boom 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 boom, you kill like 2 of them, They back up, they're obviously gonna rotate, so you just smoke it again. And then you TP, but you cancel the TP. And obviously they won't know that you canceled it because they can't hear anything because it's so far. And yeah, there's a small chance they'll come back to you on A, or they'll go to your team on B. So yeah, Omen can be used for a lot of different things, but I mainly just use it for rotating or ulting here, or grabbing the spike like this. You want to just hover over the spike, and then you could just cancel it. So you can do it really quick. So I'll literally just hover over it and then just spam X as soon as I do it. And boom, you got spiked. But say they're on the spike, so sometimes they can stand on the spike and cover it. That's when you want to just get as close as you can to it and just spam F or whatever your pickup is, and you will definitely get it. So I'll try to demonstrate it a little better. So I'll do it like right here, and then yep, just grabbed it just like that. But yeah, practice makes perfect with Omen, honestly. He's definitely one of the agents you gotta play him a lot and learn how everything works, his little quirks and everything. But in the end, he can be one of the best agents in the game, in my opinion. Well, I think he is the best agent in the game still. That new one looks pretty cool. Don't know his name or her name, but yeah, I think that is all for this Omen guide for this video, at least for Ascent. If you guys enjoyed this and you guys like it, just like and comment, and that'll motivate me to post another one for another map, because I really don't know if anyone will like this. But yeah, I post on YouTube Shorts and TikTok pretty much one clip a day at least, whether it's Valorant or Marvel Rivals, pretty much one of those two games. And then I also post card opening videos, so beware of that. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed, just leave a like, comment, and subscribe, because it would really help me out a lot. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, just comment them down below and I'll be sure to reply as soon as I can. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.